I'm Pat Bruce, and I had an older brother, Ron, who was the apple of my mother's eye. He was born January 27th, 1945. She did not know that he was special, as she called it. She actually took him to the doctor, where she got the diagnosis of Down syndrome. And at that point, my parents it was highly suggested that he be institutionalized. He was about 2, and there was absolutely no way that he was going to be institutionalized. It was the Red Sox pennant of 2004 that we were home for a wedding, and he asked us to go out and get him a pennant shirt. And the next day, he used to, for several days in a row, thank us when we bought him something. And then we asked him how he liked his shirt because he was wearing it, and he didn't remember that we had bought it. My dad noticed when he was on the job, there were things that he was forgetting to do, places he was supposed to be, time he was not watching. So they were thinking that it was the Downs and him being stubborn, and actually from what we know now, I really think it was the dementia. It was then that we got him tested at Frederick at the neurological center, and he went on some medications, and they had to change several of them. They didn't agree with him very well at all. It was at that point in time that I started keeping a notebook, and it was one of the best things that I ever did. And we wrote everything in it, along with all of his medical information, his medicine as things changed, and that was critical. And so at that point, I realized that we couldn't go away or do anything if I didn't use a geriatric care manager to fill in my spot. So I used some actually National Family Caregiver funds, NFCSP funds, through my county, and was able to use a geriatric care manager who went and did an assessment, and then if something happened while we were gone, she would be able to go to the hospital and act as an advocate on my behalf. And for me as a caregiver, I can't tell you what a huge stress releaser that was. 2007 was when I got the call saying he couldn't go on the elevator because he wouldn't let other people in the building on the elevator with him. He went around his apartment and unplugged the TV and didn't want to watch any more sports when that was really critical for him. One of the things that was probably the most important was his music. That even when he stopped talking, he did not stop singing. So I really can't say enough about music therapy and how important that was for him and a number of the other residents. After working 32 years at the hospital school, he came out with a pension and his own insurance. He paid his own way through the facility, only 2 years on Title 19. It was actually 2014, his birthday. One of the aides put dibs in on to feed him his cake pudding for his birthday. And I got a call saying that they thought that he had stopped eating. It was the decision with the doc to let his heart condition take him that was probably the toughest, and yet the kindest thing to do, because he was having a very difficult time and becoming more angry with depression and anxiety with the dementia. He died at 69, so that would be well over 10 years having lived with the dementia, and 8 days after his 69th birthday in 2014. One of the things I wish I had done more of was to interact or to get to know the staff better. Some of the other aides that came by when I was cleaning out his room after he passed told me some stories, and I didn't know these folks, and I wish that I had gotten to know them, the people that interface with him daily in his life. At the very end, I realized that by pouring myself into it and being his advocate and being his sister, that it was probably one of the most beautiful journeys that I've had in my life.